Hiya, it's Pascal here, and in this video, I want to talk about parenting in school. This is one of the like parents' evening in school. This is one of the things that I missed before I started my online business. And if you know anything about me, you know I always talk about my son. So he's the one that inspired me to start a business online because I wasn't spending time with him. Now, what I want to talk about today is the importance of being there for your child when they're growing up, attending all these small events that might not mean a lot. Because a lot of people, I know that a lot of parents, especially fathers, I'm not saying all of them, but majority of them, they leave this responsibility to their spouse so that they can get on with their own life, and they basically, what I would say is they just don't attend majority of these events like parents' evening in school, where parents are supposed to come in and get some information about the progress and the development of their child and all that. We take those things a little bit for granted, and the reason I'm sharing this with you is because this is one of the things that I know that if you really understand the implications and the depth of missing these small things, you will probably make a very huge step towards fixing it, because they might seem small now, but as the years go by, as you get older, you realize you never knew your children, you never really understood where they were coming from in terms of their education, in terms of their development. You are just more of a father servicing the bills of your children. They just ask you, Daddy, I need some money for exercise book, and you just bring out money and you pay. Daddy, I need money for clothes, I need money for shoes. And that's all you're there for. You're just there to service their bills. But in terms of their development, in terms of their mental well-being, in terms of how they interact, in terms of how they move around in the society, in terms of how they interact with other children, all these various, in terms of their beliefs as they are growing up, because as they grow, they are molding their own future. And if you are not there as a parent or as a father to actually guide them and instill some principles that you know that will serve them for a long time in their life, or probably throughout their life, then it will be very hard for you to actually do this later on in life. By that time, maybe they are grown up and you don't even get to see them. And the price of this is usually heavy. You may not notice this now, because I am a very first-hand experience of this, because my dad was, the reason I share this is my dad was a typical good example of this. He was, when we were growing up, he left every responsibility for us growing up with my mom. We were like 4 boys and a girl. I have only one sister, and as we were growing up, my mom was basically bid us, take us to school, feed us. In fact, everything that has to do with the kids was my mom, and my dad's role was more of bill paying. Now, but as a result of that, my normal relationship, my dad and mom separated. I don't know, after 15 years for whatever reason, maybe because he was working long hours again, and my mom couldn't cope with all of us. So for some reason they separated, and 3 years after that, my mom passed away. And my dad now is still alive, but he doesn't really know us. He doesn't. He still finds, if not that he finds it difficult, but he can't really relate to ask deep questions and understanding about how we feel personally, not just are we healthy, but in terms of where we're going in business, where we're going with our lives. It's more of, if we go out, make decisions, we just come to him, Daddy, this is what we've decided. And there is no input from him, actually, because there is no relationship from any of us towards him. And this is because of the long years that he left all our development with my mom. And looking back now, even though we are trying to build our relationship back, but it can never be as it's supposed to be. So that's why I really encourage you to step outside your comfort zone and stop. Not, I wouldn't say quit your job, but try and do something on the side to protect yourself and your family and your future. Because if you keep working for other people for all your life, when it's time for you to retire, you will realize that you have gotten to the point in your life that when you're supposed to retire, your kids will be leaving house, maybe they'll be getting married, and you'll be expecting them to come and hang around with you or be with you. But what you will realize, you've trained people that are going to basically do what you did, which is get a job and start working till God knows when. And when you tell them to come around, they will simply tell you the same thing that you're telling them now. I'm busy, I've got work to do. And this may not seem obvious now, but if you think deep and think hard in it, you will realize that you must do something about it to protect yourself and to protect your family. I encourage you to do whatever you can, because the price of not doing it, it's heavy. It's heavy if you really understand it. And it's something that you cannot get back, because it has to do with time. You may lose all the money you have now, you can get it back. But if you lose the time with your kids now, you will never get it back. Start building a relationship around your children, your spouse. Create a very comfortable home, and look them in the eyes and tell them that everything that you're going to do, no matter, even if you're going to fail or you're going to succeed, it doesn't matter, but make that attempt. Make that attempt is the most important thing, and the doors will open for you. Because I always believe that God is always seeing you, and He knows what's going on inside of you. But you have to trust Him in terms of your faith, in terms of your actions, that He is the one guiding you. Because nobody can do it all by themselves. That's why He uses people to reach out to us. Maybe this might be a wake-up call video from me to you. I don't know, but just do something about it, because there's a story I want to finish this video with. What if your son, you see him one day, he's crying in his room, and you ask him, son, why are you crying? And he runs upstairs and starts counting, going to his piggy bank and start opening it and start counting all the money in there. And so you ask him again, son, what are you doing? And he tells you, Daddy, how much do you get paid per hour? You might come up and say, maybe $20, $50, it doesn't matter. And he will look at all the money in his piggy bank and said he has been saving his lunch money so that he can pay you, so that he can come back 1 hour earlier and spend time with him. Because you never know what's going on in the children's mind until you take this necessary action, so you realize that. I wish you all the best. Take care. It's Pascal Wanaji. Bye-bye.